Where's my channel? Wait a minute. I don't know where it's gone. My computer crashed and it went. I got the blue screen with the memory problem, and I've never had that. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully we can resurrect it somehow. I don't know where the other one's gone. I'm just going to have a look around. I'll see if I can figure it out, because right now I can't. Dashboard? Nope. Videos. Actually, what was that? Which one's that? Just a brief one. Okay. Oh, I got 23,500 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, no, it crashed. I got the blue screen and it just went like that and crashed. Thank you, Charlie. Cloud1, how are you today? Big Nasty, hello again. Good to be back. If I just disappear, I'm not going to bother trying to get on, but whatever. Hello. Huge. I never know how to say your name. Huge hello. Oh, is that what it is? Loud and clear, Paul. Thank you very much. I missed the first bit. New glasses. These are the same as these ones. Well, they're not. They're different. These are for anyway. I use 3 different pairs, and I got some round ones which I use for driving and that sort of stuff. Call me Shin. Oh, okay, Shin. Where were we up to? There was just heaps of conversation on Tim Watson, one of my work colleagues, and a wonderful chap. I really liked him. And I'm going to tell him about that other one. And we were talking about the projects I'm doing. So the little BMC engines, nice little cheap ones. I got them from the Chook Shed for $50 each. The block in the 1600. Okay, so the block in the 1600 had a crack on the last main bearing cap, but not where it bolts up. It was where the seal runs. And it also had one just inside a Welsh plug, but the builder thought it was there from when the block was cast. It doesn't go through, it just sits there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build it. So I've ordered the pistons and all this sort of other stuff. We'll build that. Healy Factory have got an MG Magnet, like a 54 model, and it's mint. New leather interior. It's a 1500. I really want it, but it's 20 grand. And I haven't got 20 grand. And even if I did have 20 grand, I don't know where to put it. But I see things like that, and they're unusual. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind one. But what do you do? Have you built RC cars, boats, planes? Yeah. Oh, cars, but just the electric one, to me ones. We were talking about England before in Blackpool. And there used to be, in Blackpool in England, there was a shopping centre called the Hounds Hill, I think, and there was a toy shop there or an RC shop called Beatty's. And I've still got the Beatty's tote bag type thing that you carry all your remote control stuff in. And I bought a Thundershot. I was 20 or something like that. As Rosie was such a great painter, you're going to get her into bike resto. Rosie will come, yeah, she'll. The trouble with Rosie is she likes to do a million different things, most of which is playing on her phone. So if she's in the mood, she'll come out. There are actually beaches. I don't think there's there now. No, there would be. This is in the 80s. Would appreciate your opinion. If a shell bearing bigger is disturbed during a ring replacement, would you change it or replace the bearings? When you do rings, you would always do bearings anyway, normally. Oh, you've got one of those. Shin's got one of those bags too. Yeah, it's a black bag and it's square and it says Beatties. And I lost my first one, so I bought one from someone in UK on eBay because I wanted one. And I've got these to me. I've got quite a few to me RC cars. No, mine was black with yellow print Beatties with a picture of a car on it, I think. It's in my bedroom upstairs. I liked it. I used to go there. And we used to, there was a girl that worked in Beatties, and I used to be a big fan of the Professionals with Martin. Is that his name? Martin, someone and Lewis Collins. Martin. What was his name? I can't remember. And George Cowley was Gordon Jackson. And she always thought she saw Lewis Collins and she thought he was gay. I never thought Lewis Collins was gay. Well, it turns out he got married, went to America, had a couple of sons, and he passed away, which was awful. I think he had cancer. I was going to say that makes me laugh about classic bikes and those Claiming Honda cars, his 80s, 90s, are rare. Sounds like your issue with the expensive. Yeah, Honda stuff's stupid. A lot of other stuff, Suzuki and Kawasaki bits seem to be a lot cheaper. Martin Shaw, that's it. That is Martin Shaw. How's things in Australia? Cheers from Canada. I miss you. I want to go back. I loved it. I really loved it. And I saw nothing in Canada except old cars and a bunch of people. And the people, they were such a great bunch to be around. And I was kind of quiet there. I wasn't myself because I was in a strange place, but I did feel at home pretty quickly. Big bore kits worth it? Yeah. Well, the good thing about big bore kits for bikes is if you overdo it or you bore it to the max, you can always just get a set of barrels. The crankcase and everything's fine. I would definitely big bore kit on a bike. I just remembered a really funny Tim Watson story last year. He was inside Coles squeezing avocados to see if they were ripe, and one exploded in his hands. Friggin' Tim Watson. Right, we gotta move on from Tim Watson, but every time I hear a Tim Watson story, I'm kind of amused. I'm very amused. I channeled my inner Rosie and painted bits of my EB. Loved it. Just needed a pinstripe. Done now. Good on you, Charlie. Well done. I've got to go and see Nielsen's again too. USA, how's it going in the good old US of A? Is it good? I haven't been to America for a while. I passed through there last year, but I didn't actually stop and visit anybody. I don't know many Americans. I could go to England, and I know stacks of people still in England, but I don't know anyone in America. Oh, my auntie was there. She was in Great Neck in New York. Welcome back, Peter, from Phil with XF Falcon. How are you? Nice to get to Lucky Bid twice. This is a different one. How long did you spend in the UK? I was there. Well, I lived there as a kid for about 12 months. And we were there when I was a baby, and I went back a few times for about 3 months each, I think. 3:30 in the morning. Bloody hell. Good to see you back. Thank you, Nick. It's good to be back. If I disappear, it's because this bastard of a computer has crashed. Have you sorted NBN? Yeah. NBN, we had to take it. I had Optus cable, never had a problem. I think in 20 years, actually, it gave out once and took about a week to fix. NBN drops out quite a lot, but that wasn't NBN's fault this thing. My computer actually crashed. Japan. Everyone that goes to Japan says how great it is. I've not been there. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going to Japan. I don't want to go to China, but I'll go to Japan. At the moment, there's friction with the Chinese, and it's in the papers all the time. And there were 3 people near Tim, including me, cuts of the avocado when all overalls, but Tim got the best of the guts. I'm going to give Tim so much shit when I go back to work. Best teacher, Illy. Oh, who are you, Schnitz? That's a very nice thing to say. If you're talking about me, you might be talking about Tim Watson, we've been talking about him a lot. I had to cut a deal with my NBN because I was on a sweetheart deal with the cable. I was on the fastest one. And when they wanted me to go to NBN, we kind of had to. And the problem with it was a lot slower. And I said, I don't want that. I want the fastest because I've been with you for 20 years. What are you going to do for me? So they gave me the fastest. Computer whiz, I was. My knowledge with computers is DOS and 486s and Pentium, first class Pentium and Pentium 2. That's about as far as I get. I lost track of computers with the modern ones. Let's go then. No, now, man. I can't go to Japan now. They've got a postage strike. I'm still waiting on a parcel from bloody Japan. I ordered it in August. Haven't got it yet, which is why I've got a motorcycle I can't use. Did you see the pin striper that Keith Rucker on the Vintage Machinery channel used? No. Does pineapple belong on pizza? If you order Hawaiian, yes, it does. Japan is the best for anyone into any hobbies. Yeah, it would be. Germany. Is it Munich where that huge rail, that huge model rail layout is? It's on a 10-acre property or something, and it's incredible. There's even planes that land in there, and there's dead people, and there's people screwing in the back of a car, and the car's bouncing, and there's people going to school, and there's buildings and shopping centres, and it's all in this model rail layout. It's phenomenal. Yeah, you should look for it on YouTube. It's good. I went to Japan with Tim Watson 5 years ago. Is this real? Timonis, and I forgot he was in Japan, and tried to start a conversation with a random person in English. China is intrinsically untrustworthy. You might get disappeared. What internet speed? I don't know what it is, but it's the fastest NBN, which I haven't noticed any change. But the upload speed is lightning. To upload a YouTube video, it's 5 minutes, and they're like 2 gig, a bit over 2 gig. There's a local joint who has it's moving the exact same adhesive pinstripe that's already on my EB. But thanks for the recommendation. Hi, my name Tim. Oh, that's not for me. Where are we? What's your opinion? What's your position on the current Middle Eastern conflict? I don't give opinions on that sort of thing. I kind of stay away from political stuff. I think about what the United States have been going through. There are supporters of Donald Trump and there are supporters or people that don't like him. And I've got my opinion on him, but I keep it away from this sort of forum. It's about cars and Tim Watson, but I don't really have much to say on the political stuff. I only mention China because it's in the paper all the time, but I'm not giving an opinion on what I think about it. Probably 120, 140 is much better with a proper upload speed. Yeah. Top 3 countries you'd like to visit. I want to go back to England. I want to go back to the United States. And I want to go back to Canada. I don't really want to go anywhere else. People want to go to Africa and all these sorts of places. I've not really been interested in going anywhere else. A lot of them in Australia also go to a lot of the Asian countries. And yeah, I want to go back to the ones that I kind of know. I went to a record store in Japan and they only sold Beatles stuff. That's it. Whole levels of department stores are just plastic models. Critical mass for hobbies. That's intriguing. Beatles stuff. They split up in 1970. South Africa is my number 1 because of the history famous historian Gene Swart, probably. Yeah, no, a lot of people want to go there. That's just me being ignorant, not saying I want to go there. You should walk into one of Tim Watson's classes on Monday and tell all your stories about him to the class. He'd just laugh. Your mate in Tokyo says there's no postage strike. It's on Google. I think it's mine stuff's lost. I might just have to buy the motorbike bits locally for the Suzuki to finish it. Yeah, exactly. Politics, religion, and money. You don't discuss. Miniature Wonderland in Hamburg. Yes, that's the one. Have a look at Miniature Wonderland. Wonderland with a U, and Google it and have a look because it's just ridiculously good. Are we discussing about countries? Yeah. Peter, remind me of another man named Peter. His name is Peter Little. Look him up on Facebook. You won't be disappointed. Obviously, is this a joke? You should do it to Tim Watson, period 2 Monday. All right, let's have a look at something, you little smarty pants. I'm going on to my school thing. I want to find out what class Tim Watson's in. Hang on a minute. Watson. Hurry up. Timothy. What's Timothy got on Monday? Schedule. What? Period 2 Monday's got a science class. A year 7 science class. Are you a year 7 science student? Complete wanker, isn't it? Not Tim Watson, I'm talking about Peter Little. Build Fords, usually heavy duty versions of other market cars and utes, yeah, like Falcon GTs and all sorts of stuff. So stay calm. You must be a year 7 kid who's got a science class, period 2 on Monday. That's picked a random period off the top of my head. Okay. I'm good. Sam, how are you, mate? It's good to see you. Everyone, Sam Nicholson's in the room. Great guy. Good evening, Peter. Just finished watching your lawnmower videos. I did them years ago. I bought myself a Victor twin cylinder. They're rare. Have you ever heard? Yes, they're rare. They're a flat twin. They're a 500 cc. No, they're not. Not a 500 cc. They're called a Victor 500, I think, but they're like a 300 cc. I know the ones you're talking about. Wicked XE. Hello, Dave. How are you today, Dave? Hope it's a good night where you are. It's raining here. So you're still in Penella? It's been raining sporadically today. and very windy. So I thought it was going to bucket down, but it hasn't yet. But 170cc twin, is it? I want to have a chat, mate. Yeah, chat you can do it. I'll have a chat with you. Are you at the school? Catch up with me and we'll have a chat. Have you ever fiddled with Ransom's mowers? Nope. Dad has a couple, a minor and a marquee, great pieces of machinery. I don't know much about them. I know the Super Swift and the Kirby engines, and the Briggs and the Victor. They're the ones I pretty much played with. The mower videos were kind of like these BMC engines I'm fiddling around with now, in that I was looking for content and I thought, oh, no. But there was a guy, American chap, sent me an electric, because I did one called Briggs for $1, and I picked up this Briggs and Stratton lawnmower for $1, and of the engine, and the mower was knackered. Like it had been left outside, it was corroded, it was just knackered, and I pulled the engine was good, just needed a freshen up. So I thought, let's go nuts with this thing. Let's hydroblast the cases, get everything zinc coated, really make it look good. And I haven't finished it. And the what was I going to say? I was going to say something else. And a guy, yeah, that's right. A guy from America sent me all these new bits, including an electronic ignition. XA Coupe guy. Hey, how are you? Graham. How's things, Graham? I heard $1. The 4-stroke one, the nice BSA Norton Villiers. The Villiers were on the Super Swift ones here, where the cylinder head and the barrel were sort of all one. Runs like a clock. Amazing how long they live for. Mowers do that. My mower's knackered. The big end's that loose on it. When you shut it down, it's bang, 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 bang as it slows down. It's an old Victor Mayfair or something. I don't know what it is, but I use it all the time. 2-stroker. I still use a 2-stroke mower. Funny as always talk about mowers. I just bought an overhead valve Villiers slasher. I don't even know Villiers. Oh, yes, I know. Yes, they do. They do make 4-strokes. Sorry, I was just having an ignorant moment. Hey, Pete. G'day, Malcolm. How's things? I disappeared before. I did a live feed before, and my computer crashed. 2-strokes the way to go. I must say my little whippersnipper, it failed once because of the fuel line, and I bought a Home-like Bunnings blower thing, and it's brilliant. Could you tell us a story of Henry Ford? Are you from school? Is this one of the stories we talk about in class? Then it's normally to do with balance and well-being and all that sort of stuff. Yes, I can tell you a story of Henry Ford, but I have to read up a bit because I've forgotten some stuff. Late last year, Tim walked in Clubbex in Ringwood just this year by touch with his daughter. So he walked in his eyes lit up. Okay, Tom, with the Villiers Mower 2, asked Dave, the Wicked XE. He's a bit of a mower guru. He seems to know a lot about what he's talking about. Keystone. Oh, wow. If you want to have a 2-stroke Commando, Keystone needs magneto, but is in as new condition. 2-stroke Commando Keystone. So you need a battery, obviously. It needs a magneto. Wow. Guys, if you're from England, thank you so much for making this stuff. I really love it. And I've got to get a haircut, but I can't be bothered. What else do you want to discuss? I haven't done a feed for a while, and I got spam before, but thankfully he's giving me a bit of a break from it. I just realized in the last video I was talking about my YouTube camera, which is a Samsung Galaxy, but the battery's all swollen up, and so I'm gonna have to buy a new one before it blows up. Nebo. Look at this battery. And it's the second one it's had. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it's all puffy there? Got to buy another one. Yeah, people have asked me to shave my mode for November, and I said, we'll see how much you raise, and I'll just give you the money and keep it. I've had my moustache since I was 19, I think. I grew it. I shaved it up once, and then someone said, just grow it back, it looks shit house. I put one of those new Repro aftermarket XC out of mirrors. It was stunned that they were actually very good mates. Yes, they are. You're right, Graham. I've put the remote one on the Fairmont on the XC, and it's the one with the little joystick remote, and perfect, great. Just don't buy door handles for it. Do you want to hear some of Tim's funny stories when he lived in WA? Maybe time for another day. We've been doing lots of Tim discussions, and I want him to read. I wanted to read the comments in the last video. I hope it saved all right because it crashed. But yeah, I've got a. I'd be interested to hear it actually. So yeah, I've got to go back on eBay, get one of these. This is my livelihood. This little Samsung battery. But yeah, I've got a GoPro, but I don't know how to use it. I don't actually like using them anyway. This thing's just so easy to use. It's brilliant. I've got a lot of mileage out of that. It was Charlie's phone. Yes, if you haven't submitted a portfolio, I've done the reports, you need to submit it because I actually need it because it's worth half your marks. And if you don't submit it, I've got to give you a crummy report and I don't want to do it, but I have to because it's not fair on the kids that have done it. So if you can, just upload it. Even if it's not finished, I can just look at what you've done so far and assess what's there. So yeah, if you can, that'd be wonderful. Because I've written the reports, but some of the ones that haven't got portfolios submitted, I've left blank. And I have to, the reports I think are due on Wednesday. And so on Tuesday night, if I haven't got them still, then I'll fill them all in with the negative stuff. The dog's barking. How we go for time? 5 to 11. The night is young, but I've got to run my wife's friends. My wife's got a friends over, and she can't drive because she's been drinking. Don't they lock it? They lock it after 9 a.m. Wednesday, I think. But I'll need them on Tuesday night because that's when, because 9 a.m. Wednesday I'll be in class. So I'll need them on Tuesday night. I always wonder how you link those whole videos together you showed in the older video. I think you did with students back in the day. Yeah, I didn't do that well. I got 2 couplings made at a engineering joint, and I should have used a rubber damper, and I didn't. I used a uni, and they shook loose after a while. Or the bolt, it sheared the bolt, but they were 2 253s. But I should have used a great big rubber coupler. You can actually link engines that aren't the same. It doesn't matter. Rotation is just rotation. But they were 2 253s. Can you do a stream when school finishes for the year? Okay. Blowback. Blowback was one that had a 253 in the front, had a 350 Chev, I think, in the ute part, in the bed. I did one with a Holden 1 ton where I got 2 253s and chained them together. For the kids that were doing year 11 and 12 vet, we built a car. So I dragged an old 1 tonner frame out of it was in Pakenham in long grass, and it had moss and snails and all sorts of stuff. And I took it into work, left it on the floor, got the kids around. I said, right, goes, who reckons we're going to be driving this by the end of the year? And they just looked at me. And we were driving it at the end of the year on the quadrangle. The assistant principal at the time, a wonderful man, Chris Salisbury, he couldn't wait to drive it, but it ran out of petrol on him because we only had a small fuel tank. Had these 2 Holden V8s with 2 Quadrajet carbies, and yeah, you just stick fuel in it, it's gone, 8.4 litre V16, that was the way we sort of said it. But I wanted to fabricate rocker covers, long ones, and stick it on so that it looked like one engine. I never got around to doing it. We just had 4 pipes coming out. It was dismantled and disposed of. I ran the vet, so when they opened up the auto shed, I was the one that populated it and tooled it up and always. And then they decided to have apprentices. So it was auspiced by Box Hill TAFE and I think Swinburne at one point. And now it's its own RTO. So then it was just taken over by the new mob that are in there now who are brilliant. And they've got like over 100 apprentices. It's the best auto centre in this side of the country. It's really, really good. And so it just went to that whole new level, which I couldn't take it to that. I wasn't going to be prepared to set it up in its RTO days because the RTOs are the training organisations are governed by the AQTF, I think, and they have to do an audit every 2 years, and they go through everything, and they have to. It costs 20,000 for an audit. Do you need me to run you guys home?
No, I think Sarah's giving me a lift.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't know how to turn the So you pay off.
Oh, I'll do that. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Bye-bye, dear.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks for having us.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Oh, the dog food. Tim Watson told me you have a funny story about dog food. All right, do you want to hear a story about dog food? I was the Year 9 coordinator. I'll tell you about the dog food in a minute. 250 are probably worth thousands now. They were $250 at the time. So this was in 2006 or 7. And I picked up a 302 XC Fairmont, a rusty one, for $100 and took it into work, and we got that going too. And now it's just, you wouldn't, and that went to the toilet. Like, they crushed it. We didn't care. They were dime a dozen. Now look at them. 302 XC Fairmont's $20,000. For one in that condition, you'd still pay. It had air conditioning, power steering, and gas on it. And it was white with dark brown interior, T-bar auto. The interior was mint, was fine. It was just the exterior had some rust, but it was superficial. That car would go for 20 grand all now. Too fluffy, yeah. They used to call them 2 fluffies back then. I like 253s. They didn't get the bloody camshaft problems that 308's got. They didn't chew them out the way the 308s did. 253s also, if you put them in the right car, like VH Commodore Group 2 SSs, the modifications Brock did to the 308s, actually, they got more power for the sweat volume out of a 253 than they did the 308. So the modifications they were doing to cylinder heads and camshafts had a better effect on the 253 than the 5 litre. Hello, Ben. How are you going? So they're a good little engine. People shit can 253s all day, and I really like them. I've always liked them. When you get them in a big car, they just don't have the torque. It's the same sort of thing as the Ford 6s, the 200 and the 250. If you get a 200 in a Falcon, it's very sluggish, and the 250 is much better, more torque. But in a Cortina, 200s are good. 30. Oh, I need to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. Oh. I think I'm going to sneeze. Coronavirus, a big pun. There was a YouTube video the other day, and they made a shed load of power out of the thing. Problem is the cost to make it. 253 Holden V8s were loosely based on something, I think. I don't think it was a clean sheet of paper in Australia. Seeing old Falcon prices skyrocket. I'm glad I got my XP when I did. I'm glad you did too. I only paid $6 grand for it. For a drivable 6-cylinder, now a V8. Now it's a V8 very drivable. I hate to think it's worth now. A lot of money. You're better off. You're better off keeping it. You can't go wrong with that stuff. I bought my XW in 2013 for $5,200, and that was quite a lot. I bought it through Rate. Come on. Well, it wasn't quite a lot. It was actually. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't dear. So it was about what you probably expect to pay. And I drove it home. And there's a guy on Facebook Marketplace, which is a bad indication. He's got one up for, is it 20 or 15? And it's just stuffed. And you couldn't. It's just, you know what? Strip it down straight away. It's got no hope going. I had a 308 in a VH and a 253, and honestly, the 253 was a lot better. 253 is good. They're good in Commodores. Early Commodores are really good. Like, a friend of my brother's, who's a policeman, he had a 253 and a VB Commodore, so it had a little Stromberg on it, and it went like a rocket. It was really good. There was nothing wrong with that at all. Facebook Marketplace, yeah. Although I got my Bluey off Facebook Marketplace, it was $800. But the Ford and Holden guys are just nuts. That's why, yeah, they've gone up. I think they've gone up a lot also because of COVID. But if I was going to buy, I wouldn't buy another Ford or Holden, not unless it was complete and a good price. The dog food story. Well, if everyone else wants to hear the dog food story, I'll tell you the dog food story. I got to get a haircut, but I just can't be bothered. It's clean. I wash it every 2 days. Sometimes every day. But, yeah, that's why it's like Japanese cars. Because ads are free and they're mostly fishing expeditions, yes, I think that's probably the case with the pricing. It's just obscene. But it's offensive obscene, you know. It's like go away, dickhead. Because one day someone's not going to know any better, and they're going to give you a huge amount of money for everything, for what you're selling, and then that's going to push everything up. And that's what happens. I had a snipe once, a super snipe, and I painted it, and I didn't paint it particularly well. I advertised it, and I got $5,000, I think, for it. And then that was on eBay. And then the next week, there was about 10 super snipes for thousands of dollars. We used to pick them up for nothing. People watch. And they watch and they try and replicate. I've noticed with a lot of XW and XY Falcons, the GT ones, now you're paying more money sometimes for a nice replica than you are the South African GT. And because GTs are a numbers thing and their value is obtained from numbers, in a lot of cases, you're better off getting the genuine car all day. Values high, interest rates are nothing, COVID stimulus, people not travelling overseas, the heart will subscribe to classic cars. Yeah, I think you're right. You've got to be kidding me. Is this Godfrey? Is this Godfrey? Godfrey's a friend of mine from school, and he's an asshole. No, he's not. I love that. Dave Godfrey did some work for me a couple of times, and I always felt indebted to him. Did I miss an update on the XE? No, I haven't started yet. I've got to go back and do it. So, I'm just doing odds and ends. I'm just, doing odds and ends, filling up what I can, and just releasing content as I can. Because at the moment, I've just got to go with what I can go with. Money's not exactly great at the moment, but it doesn't matter. I'll find stuff to do. Dave Godfrey, there has been so much discussion on Tim Watson. In the last, I did a feed before on the computer crashed, and Tim Watson's name has come up 1,000 times, all the funny things he's done. Did you know Tim Watson is a musician? I didn't. More bike content. Yeah, well, I'm building a custom bike at the moment, but that's kind of as I get bits. Like I got that police headlight and the headlight bucket and modified it, did all that sort of stuff, and I've got the engine together. Do you reckon that was the car prices were rising because of people getting into their super? Bloody hell, man. The channel seems to be doing pretty well. Might almost be doing better than your teaching career. Yeah, probably. I don't make enough money on here to get rid of the teaching career, though. You're rubbing off on me. I grabbed an 83 KL250 during the week, just getting bits and pieces for it to bring it back to normal. Good on you. You should be able to get bits fairly reasonably for one of those. I question Dave Godfrey. There's a kid here, and I don't know who it is. I question Compass for letting you see the teacher's schedule. Well, you can see each other's schedule. You can go and see because sometimes you need to find the other teachers. You need to go and see what they're doing and go and talk to them about something. So yeah, you can always see their schedule. You can't see, their personal details or anything. And teachers' personal details aren't in Compass anyway. But yeah, there's a kid here, Dave. Do you know Tim Watson? Dave Godfrey's a musician. He's a guitarist and a singer. And he jams with his son, and he's very good at what he does. I wish I could sing and play some sort of musical instrument, but I couldn't even play the triangle. Godfrey and I just walk in and just basically hang a lot of shit on each other. That's how it works with him and I. That's good. So yeah, that's about all I'm doing. Just plodding away with small projects and building the little engine stand. I actually ran out of. It was supposed to be with scrap, and I failed already because I had to go and buy some steel today because the scrap bin is depleted, and the stock that's in there is for obviously for students, and I've got some scrap here which I've already used. So I had to go and get some RHS from Bunnings today. And so we got that. And that way I can just finish it and release it. And there's another one done. Is this thing crashing again? What's going on with this? Hang on a second. Let me just move that over. No, that seems to be still running. So, yeah, I'll finish that and I'll finish the 1500. That's pretty quick. I might give it a quick paint job. Start it up, make some noise, annoy the neighbours, and then that's it. Yeah, I know. But what do? It was 30. I paid Okay, so 3 meter length of RHS, no, 2 meter length, 30 by 30 mil, 1.6 wall was $28, so it was very dear. And I also bought some right angle 30 by 30 3 mil because I got the radiator from the records for a Honda Civic and I need to mount it. I've got to get creative with how I'm going to run the hoses too because I've got no idea because the outlet's on the wrong side or the inlet's on the wrong side. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. You like the latest MG yeah, I pulled it out and started it and it started first pop and I was actually quite amazed. And I was also amazed the clutch didn't stick. I thought it would. Tim had told me about David as well. Okay, so Tim and David know each other. When you go back to see Scott at Cobble Motors, don't know. I would. I'd like to go back. They've said anytime you want to come in, come. It's just it's expensive to get to Canada, so it's not like a route that's because you have to sort of go through. I went direct from Melbourne to Los Angeles, and from Los Angeles, San Francisco, and then on to Edmonton, and it's quite yes, Greg, a super sniper Humber. It's quite a it's not a common route, if you know what I mean. And so the airfare was about $3,000. No, it wasn't. That's just complete lie. It was $2,000, I think, to get there and back. Whereas if you just go to LA, you can get it cheap. You can go to London cheaper than you can get to Canada because more people go. Sigma's going well. I've lost the registration label because of the COVID thing. I didn't put the new reg. I got the books with the sticker in them from the club, but I've lost the registration label for the XW and the Sigma. And I went to Vic Roads yesterday, and it was about 10:30, and the line was going out to the one down the road. And I thought, no, I'll go in later. Melbourne's from Canada. Was it 14 hours? Oh no, it would be 17 because it was 12 hours from here to LA. It's about 2 hours from LA to San Francisco and another couple of hours to it'd be about 17. I thought no, I got there. I was on I went directly. So Melbourne to Los Angeles was only about 12. I went on a Airbus A380, best aircraft I've ever been on. And on the way back, it was a Boeing Dreamliner, 7. What are the Dreamliners? I can't remember. Not a patch on the Airbus plane. Nowhere near as good. Yeah, I would probably go to San Francisco straight from Melbourne and then just jump on a little flight to Edmonton. Buck Newman. Oh, Buck, give me your portfolio. I've done your report and it was crummy. 787, that's it. Buck, give me your report, your portfolio. I need it to do your report because I've done it and I don't like what I've had to put because you didn't submit it. So make sure you get it in so I can give you a really nice report. David Godfrey, yeah, I live with Tim in WA and moved down here with him. Who's the stay calm and love Peter Anderson Black? Yeah, he knows Tim. He's got a million stories about Tim Watson and they're really funny. He walks into supermarkets and squeezing avocados and one exploded all over him, that sort of story. It's stuff that I like, and then busking outside cash converters. Probably with the cash converters guitar, I'm not sure. The A380 is, I sent it 5 times. Email me back. It hasn't uploaded. Just send me an email and I'll get it done for you. The 380 is hands down the best aircraft I've ever been on. It's like the difference between that and the Dreamliner was the difference, like being on a small boat to an ocean liner. It was just better. Too bad they're phasing them out. It's just so dumb they're phasing them out. They upgraded so many airports for them, but since the COVID thing, I think Singapore Airlines are getting rid of these, and they're really highly regarded. They're a really highly regarded company. Brother said a good plane joke. A good landing is one where you can walk away from. A great landing is one where you can use the plane again. A good landing, in other words, if you're praying, you're still living. That's funny. All right. What time is it now? 11:15. Oh, I've got to have a shower. I got this. A kid gave me a present. I hope it's not a present that they were giving that they didn't want, so they just wrapped it and gave it to me. But whatever the case, that's really nice. Yeah, I did see him with his guitar one time outside Woolworths. It's a hobby of his. I didn't know he did that. I didn't even know he played. His daughter's an incredible artist, Holly. Hi, Pete. Darren Ellis. How's things? Good. Thank you, Darren. It's nice to see you. Dave Godfrey's here, so you might want to leave. I didn't even know he played. There's all these Tim Watson stories, and I've known Tim for a long time, but obviously didn't know him that well. I know there's a guy who always supports me called Vaughan Shonikas, and he's a good friend of Tim. You get free food, that's enough. I normally share it with guys in the office. One guy in there, Tom, got some chocolates from a kid, and Tom's a great guy, and he's sharing them with Dave and I. We work in an office. There's two Daves. There's me and there's Tom in this office between the two product design rooms. And Tom's sharing his chocolate. Anyway, a kid gives me some chocolate, and I ate it all and then felt really bad because the wrapper was still there. And I didn't give any to anyone else. Just slammed it. And I felt bad. So I should have. And you know what? This kid's giving me some shortbread. I think it is. Yeah, shortbread. And I should have left it at work. Why did I bring it home? I should have left it there for everyone else. I'm going to buy them beers. That's what I'm going to do. No, I didn't know Tim was a musician. But the stories are great. There's heaps of stories on Tim. Which we probably shouldn't be talking about this stuff. I don't know. Dave, I've got to call you tomorrow. We've got to talk about the transition classes for year 11s. Love your content, mate. Would have had a different career if I... Hang on, what does it say? Would have had a different career had I had a teacher at school like you. Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. You'd be much better getting a teacher like me than Godfrey. He's a terrible teacher. No, he's a very good one. The thing is at work, what I do on this channel is what I'm doing in my garage. And I don't set out to make anything make sense, really. I just babble as I'm doing it. And quite often I've noticed in watching it back to edit it, because I edit it to get rid of any bad language or any noises that might sound like body things, you know. And when I edit it, quite often the dialogue is very audible, and I keep getting told to put a lapel mic on, which I haven't done. The phone I use, you can actually get one for that phone. But when you're working in that sort of environment, you know, in your garage, you can do it, say what you want, you can do it at your own pace. But when you're working against the curriculum and you've got other people to think about, it's quite different. And so how you deliver something would be most of the time similar, but also very different, because there are also tasks the kids are supposed to do that you don't have to get anyone here. This is just recreation, so they're just watching for their own enjoyment. You know what's funny as well about the whole thing? He had like $80 in tips. Wow. So he's actually doing a whole lot of good for himself. That is good. So Watson got $80 in tips. Well, $80 is only 2 packs of smokes. So he'd probably go through $80 in smokes every recess. Or every other week. A blooper reel. My blooper reel is bad language. And I can't upload that because, and some of it you watch back, and I never laugh at myself. I laugh at myself at my expense. I don't mind that, particularly when I work with people like Dave. And I like to do that. But I never laugh if I say something stupid. And I'm watching back, there's no one else around. But it's like most of the bloopers is just bad language, or getting carried away with bad language because I keep making the same mistake, like dropping something. And I can't upload it because parents and kids will see it. It's like, so I keep making the same mistake, like dropping something. And I can't upload it because parents and kids will see it. It's like, that's Josh from Group 4. Who's Josh? That's Josh from Group 4. Who's Josh? Who's Josh? I don't know who you are, Josh. I don't normally get kids on here. I was doing this actually late in the middle of the night. If I fall asleep on the couch through the day, I don't sleep at night. So I would do a live feed like this in the middle of the night because I was getting trolled by people saying congratulations on your pregnancy. It's like, great, thank you. Oh, I know who you are, Josh. Did you upload your folio too? Oh, I'm going to have a go at you right now. All right, Josh, I think you're the kid in that group that didn't upload the folio. Make sure you've uploaded it because I need it for your report. And the reports are due. I've got by Tuesday night, I have to have it if you can help me with that. I think it was you. If you've uploaded it, ignore that. Or check that it was uploaded if you haven't been able to email me. And I'll do it for you. And I'll be happy to. I sang at the front of my local Woolies. People would pay me to stop singing. Yeah, that's right. I would too. If I sang, I'd probably be arrested. Peter, you would have pulled your hair out with me if you had to teach me with the except. Not really. You know what? When you're teaching people, it's just something you love doing. And if you get through and you know you've got through, that makes the job really worth it. All the other stuff just comes as a second thing, but it's nice being able to convey knowledge and to help people as well. And that's not just in a pedagogical sense with kids, it's also with adults as well. Adults are actually more fun in many ways because you can have a much more, it's easier to have rapport with them because you might have the same sense of humor and that sort of stuff. For a child, you got to be careful what you say. Calling to the Hilly Factory today, some really nice cars there. Did you see a grey MG Magnet up the back? Because I want to buy it, but I can't. And my brother sits behind that. He's the spare parts guy there. Worse language than Cold War Motors? Yeah, it can be. It can be. You just got to watch it, you know what I mean? Because this is all recorded and I don't want to get into trouble because it's not worth it. So, yeah, blooper reels I stay away from. It's very hard not to swear when shooting YouTube content. I mean, I got into trouble, right? Okay, so I got into trouble at work because I had a whiteboard. My skin is just dry and cracked. I've got tradie fingers. And it's dirty at the moment because I've been playing with those old BMC motors. But normally you can't see the cracks because it's very, very, when your hands are really clean, you can't see them. But they're still there. And so skin's really dry and you tend to slip things out. I had a year 7 art class and I had a whiteboard marker and I dropped it. And I had a sore back and I was going, Dad. And I picked up the whiteboard marker, start dropping it again, start writing again. And I dropped it again. I said, oh shit, under my breath. And start writing again. And then I dropped it again. And then an F-bomb came out, but it was under my breath. Well, a kid at the front heard it and very religious family. And next thing I know, assistant principals come up here, you know, apparently you said this. You got to be careful. You really do. Parts guys was awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. He's got a big nose. It's my brother. Did you actually fork out 800 for a KitchenAid? My sister, my daughter, that's my eldest daughter's KitchenAid there. And it shouldn't even be in here. There's too much junk in here. I've got to clean up. But yeah, she won't keep it in the kitchen because she won't have it next to the cooktop if you're frying something or cooking something and it spits. My daughter's like that. But yeah, no, that would have been $1,000 by the time she bought all the attachments for it. The joys, I heard plenty of stuff, but I pretended I didn't. Life is easier that way. It was. What have I got lined up for Christmas break? Holidays, as in projects. Yes, I've got some parts for the XC, so I'll continue with that. I might have to bail. I'll go for an hour. I'll go for another 12 minutes. MGTF, yeah. They're lovely looking cars. The problem with the MGs, though, is they're quite underpowered, a lot of them. Mine's actually all right. It's an 1800, but it's been, I don't think it's been modified. It just runs particularly well. Best thing I did for that was the electron recognition. That really helped it along. It was good. So I have it for the KitchenAid. I would. I'd do it. And in fact, you know what I've got here? I've got some of those. Hang on, Dave. Oh, and about the E10, we should talk about it during class on Monday, first period. Hang on. I was going to call you tomorrow. What have I got? Just a minute, guys. I've just got to talk. Dave's getting bored. He wants to go. Are you in Phillip Island at the moment doing your house? What are we doing at the moment? Hang on. Monday, period 1. I've got a class period 1 Monday. Damn. I've got a class period one Monday. Might come in. How long is it going to take? Because I'll just come in early on Monday morning if you want. Would you prefer that, or do you want me to call you tomorrow? Just let me know, Dave. What do I still need for the XF? The XF? The XC? I do need a kick trim for the right-hand front where your foot is, next to the pedals. There's interesting stuff going on that paint. It's very unstable. Very, very unstable. So it'll be full of spray putty and stuff like that, I would think. It's not even magnetic on the lower quarters behind where the dog leg is, up to halfway along the back wheel. So I do have to see you, Dave. Oh, Darren, sorry. Have a good Christmas too. Look after yourself. So I've got to cut all that out. But that might involve sills as well. So I'm half tempted to give it to someone else to do it. The thing is, you actually said a good thing, Graham, because I've got to get a large shallow dent. And you said something about doing something with the style line and then just hammering, dolling it out. I'm all right with that sort of stuff, but I come in at 7:45. All right, I'll come in on Monday early, so I won't call you tomorrow. Oh, Dina wants to talk about comments, and that makes me nervous because I hope she doesn't want me to change everything. I really hope she doesn't. Anyway, I'll see you at 7:45. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've got to figure out how to do that because, you know, the stuff that's fairly, you've just got a, you know, very shallow dent or a small one, it's very easy to fix. But when you're looking at that style line, the light hits that, and anything that's even remotely out is going to be visible, really, really visible. And I just want to stay away from that because if it looks terrible, it looks terrible. So I'm not really sure if that makes any sense. But that's about it, really. For the XC, I need a kick trim for the driver's door, like inside where your foot is. And I've got to get the headlights done, and I've got to get a tail shaft. I don't think I need anything. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yes, you're alive. I'm watching. Hello, Jim. How are you? Are you good? It's nice to see you. So I've just got to think what else. What do I need for the XC? Oh, you know what I need? So Grant Wickham gave me the bonnet trim, and Graham XO gave me an eyebrow mold for the left. I think I need the right-hand eyebrow mold. And that's probably it. I'm just trying to think. I got a bumper. I've got all the I'm missing a wheel arch trim, but I don't know which one it is. Just small stuff like that. So it's all going quite well. The problem is I've got so much stuff here now, it's getting it all out to do a day's work on the car when it's not going to rain. Because if it's going to rain, I don't bother. Because the XC is sort of buried. Once I've got a tail shaft for it, actually, I'll swap where it is with the XW, so at least I can drive it around. And I've got to finish off the back brakes. I've got to get some hoses for the back brakes. But, you know, it's going to be fine. It's very, very close to being drivable. Thanks for showing me so many hints and tips on your XW rebuild. That has helped me to know when with my XW. Good on you. Yeah, I've got to finish that XC. It's the longest project I've ever done. I bought it in July 2015, so I've had it over 5 years, and I've never had a car that's been undrivable for more than about 2. Normally, I knock them out quickly, like the Sigma was 6 months, and that's what I always used to do. I used to get bombs and spend 6 months on them, doing a bit of paint and panel, doing some mechanical. Always used to do it. I used to get bombs and spend 6 months on them, doing a bit of paint and panel, doing some mechanical, and then they're driving and registered, you know. But for me, it's unheard of to have a car going for 5 years. But I just got so sick of every single part being knackered, and all through the bad work of somebody else. And everything was stuffed on it. Everything was difficult on that car compared to the XW. The XW was just like Meccano. It was just, the XW was, I'm going to say, easy. The only thing hard on the XW was trying to get, well, the front guards I don't like. I don't even like the work I've done on them. I'm ashamed of them. And the shut lines I'm ashamed of as well. But the rest of the car I'm actually really proud of. And you know, the XW, everything just went together on it. The XC is just a prick. Everything that could go wrong did. And so I used to take breaks from it all the time, and that's why it's gone. That's why it's taken so long. And the fact is also, I did have a donor car, which I bought, was a Fairlane, ZH Fairlane Marquee for the power windows and all this stuff. But it's a much more complicated car than the XW as well. And just because it's power steered and it's got the power windows and it's got the, it's got a lot more involved stuff in it to do. The XW are really, really simple. Even the dash on an XW is just a steel dash with a dash pad and a fascia. There's nothing to it. The XC is this huge, big, brittle plastic thing that you get it wrong, you drop it, bloody thing will shatter. Everything's difficult on them. Probably just that car. Probably not every XC. It's just that one I've got. And it was just so badly damaged when I got it. It was a lot more damage than I thought there would be on it. I'm a high chair. Thank you. My daily needs almost full suspension rebuild, and I'm having a very hard time motivating. I've got to do the front suspension that blew in, and that's finished. I'm the same, Somewhere, if I'm in the mood, I'll just bang through it, but if I'm not in the mood, I don't want to do it at all. I started my coupe in 2013, still on the rotisserie. Yeah, it gets like that, doesn't it? Dam said it, you've had that car since I was in year 8. 1 year short of my entire high school career. Yeah, I've had a long time. Oh, Ingram's camphor cream on your hands. Looked like you had a bit of trouble on the roof. Yeah, I did. The XW had something like 72 dents in the roof from hail, and I could get to some of them, but I couldn't get to others. And, I just had to fill it. Modern cars are so much easier to work on. They are, and build parts are easy to get, no rust. I've been loving working on the FG right off. The Starlet was the easiest car I've ever done. And yeah, you're right. Everything, you get a Japanese car, you throw the door at it, stick it on the catch, put 2 bolts in, one on each hinge, and your shut lines are perfect. Try to do that on an old car. And everything just plugs together, and the plugs are all different. And you just go click, 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 and then all the plugs clip against whatever it is they're sitting against. And yeah, you're right. Graham's right. They are just wonderful to work on. That Starlet was just Lego. And I changed a lot of things with it. Thank you very much, Dave. Look after yourself. I hope that storm passes and you can get out and do some stuff. Look after yourself. But yeah, no, I really enjoy some of that stuff. That's why I'm sort of on the bikes at the moment. I'm going back to a bit of really basic mechanical. I've just got to finish that. The Plymouth, I get asked about a lot too. And the Plymouth, the reason I haven't done anything with that is, that's all right, Dave, you take care too. I've got to come up with about 10 grand for an interior and, exhaust and all that stuff. The Plymouth needs work I can't do. I can do the body mounts, and I'll do those. And I've got to rewire the back half. I've rewired all the dash and the engine bay. So the back half's just a few wires. It's nothing, but I've got to do that. But most of the work on the Plymouth is out of my hands, and it's a lot of money. And the thing is, with that much money, you can finish off every other project in the place. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I've got some money, and sometimes I don't have money. It just depends on what time of year it is and what's come up. There's been a lot going wrong with the place, with air conditioning, and I had to buy a dishwasher and all sorts of other stuff. Would you consider a mullet? No, I'm not getting a mullet. My fringe is down here. How is my fringe? There's my fringe. Yeah, it's down there. I do have to get a haircut though. Down there. I do have to get a haircut though. Okay, mate. See you later. Click, click. So yeah, it's the engine stuff I'm doing at the moment, welding together a little engine sand. That's just fun stuff. Do you know what I mean? And doing the bike is fun stuff too. It's all good. But the XC needs finishing, and yeah, I've got to do that. I've got the bikes, the 2 bikes, nearly ready to go and get roadworthies. But even then, I'm thinking to myself, I'm almost finishing them. But how much riding am I going to do? I should get them both registered. We'll put them on club anyway, and that way we can sort of you know, it's just easier to wind up a video series with a nice ride or whatever. Business in the front, party in the back, and mullet. I've had a mullet once for one day. I had the longest hair in the 80s, and then I went to a hairdresser just in Eastland, just because she was there and she gave me a mullet. I went home, my sister laughed at me and said, "You cannot walk around like that." So the next day I went and got it cut off. So I've had a mullet for a day. I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me because I've had a ball, and we did get a bit of spam at the start of the first one, but those guys are gone. So yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll come back and do another one of these when school breaks up, maybe a Christmas one or something like that. And thank you very much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas if I don't hear or see comments from you in the meantime. Take good care of yourselves and your families and enjoy. Thanks again.